Howdy everyone, I'm Brayden with EG4 Electronics and we're back to talk about the FlexBOSS21 and see what we have going on here. Now this was designed and built off the 18K PV as we may see inside here. Let's go ahead and open this up. It's a very similar internal build, but there is a couple of components that we were able to utilize instead in the GridBOSS's design, as this is the companion piece for the BOSS series. Internally, there are a lot of similarities, but you may see that, say, the generator port, for example, is now being utilized by the GridBOSS. So we were able to take that additional space in power and crank it up to 11, or in this case, 16. We now have a 16 kilowatt continuous AC output when running on solar and batteries. Now, complement that, we have a 21 kilowatt of usable solar input, which means, say you put 24 kilowatts, that's our recommended nameplate rating solar array on this system, you can utilize up to 16 kilowatts of continuous output and still charge your batteries with 5 kilowatts, which is an absurd amount of power. But say your typical household system may be using at its daily peak about 9 kilowatts. You'll still have a full range of 12 kilowatts to charge your batteries, making sure that over the course of the night, you're going to have a topped off battery ready to go for all of your power needs. Now, while this is a companion piece to the GridBOSS, it does have a perfectly standalone capability. It doesn't rely on the GridBOSS or any MID for functionality. Now, you'll just need a couple of additional components to install it in the system if you're trying to do it like the 18K PV. But this has a lot of cost savings associated with having those components moved to the GridBOSS. And you now have a lot lower of a wall space that is taken up by this design, which is around, if you have a, say, 218K PV system with a line side tap versus a 2 FlexBOSS21 system with a GridBOSS, and you have, say, 3 wall mount batteries on each, you could save around 57% of your wall space by going with the FlexBOSS and GridBOSS system, as well as probably a good 30% on the cost of the system installation itself. Not only does the FlexBOSS21 have that 16 kilowatts of continuous AC output, but it can handle locked rotor amp ratings up to 190 amps, which can just about start anything you got going on in the household. Now, all the features that were in the 18K PV's auxiliary port, like generator, AC coupling, and the smart loads, are present in the GridBOSS system. So if you want to utilize those, you'll have to pair the two together. There are also some other smaller spec upgrades from the 18K PV, such as the 3-input MPPT being a 26 amp, 15 amp input as opposed to 25, 15, and 15 with the 18K PV. This will allow you to utilize those 13 amp panels that are surfacing on the market and get to your 24 kilowatt nameplate rating threshold for maximum utilization. And as I mentioned earlier, when you pair this with the GridBOSS, you're able to save thousands on an installation, but you're also able to configure it a little better. As with the 18K PV, you would have to run a 200 amp service through your system. Your 18K PV and wall mount batteries were limited in where you could put it. Otherwise, you may be spending, $1,000 on just wiring your 200 amp service through your system. With the GridBOSS and the FlexBOSS now, you are able to effectively move your system wherever you need and have your GridBOSS be where you need those expensive wires to be ran through, as you only need to output your 70 amp system through to your GridBOSS. The FlexBOSS21 is a powerful hybrid inverter that, like the GridBOSS, was designed by features and requests from the EG4 family, be it installers, homeowners, or DIYers. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're excited to see what the FlexBOSS21 can do for you. And remember, energy generation is really for everyone. We'll see you next time.